Okay, friends, welcome back to the Great Craft Room Challenge. And you're going to notice things look a lot worse than they are better, but that's kind of what has to happen today. And hopefully by the end of the day, I can have this all figured out. I got up early this morning, so this is more than a 15-minute challenge today. And just came in here directly after I sent hubby off to work. And we got the cubbies situated. I'm going to have to relabel a few of them on the other side because I don't know what it is with me, but coordinating, and that's the way I am. So I have to figure out how I want my fabrics, because that's what most of these bins are going to be, is fabrics. Some of them have craft things in them. Those are fabrics, and I got to redo some of the print. I got to figure out how to keep those on there. I like the chalk ones with the markers, so I might be buying some more of those. We will see. But like my lights and magnifiers are down here. Bag making materials, some flip-flops that I crochet on, glue guns. I organized my rulers. All the extra rulers that I use are in here, and I'm hoping when I get the pegboard up that most of the larger ones will hang on there. But all this has to get cleared off, of course. Yesterday it was, but when I started in here this morning taking down the pegboard, which I'm liking the openness. I mean, I could feasibly put a area of cross-stitch pieces on this wall now if I want. I don't think I'll put a unit or anything like I have my flosses or anything like that, but who knows. But after this coming off, the plan is to put it over here on this edge so that it stands up here and I can get to both sides with the rulers on one side and then all the little compartments on the other. So that's in process, and that's what I'm going to do. And then there's a bookshelf. I'm going to measure it first and see how much it sticks out, because I still want a good portion of able to get through here to get all the way around this table. And then I want to fix that area up. That might be a tomorrow thing, but we'll see how far I get today. I might switch the sewing machine to this side. Excuse me. And then up there on my fabrics and books, I want to empty all that out. So it's kind of worse than it was yesterday, but I'm liking the size of the table. And like I said, over here, I found enough of these bins. These two are empty right now. I stole them from Briar. I took her toys out, so we might have to get something for her in the other room for her toys. Because I don't think I can find this color anymore. And I actually have two shades of that teal, but for now it's fine. And then, like I said, some of the tags will need to be relabeled, and I don't really like the clip ones that I have, so we might coordinate and have all the same kind of tags to label things. We will see by the end of this challenge, but you can now see I have space to actually sew at these machines, which I'm pleased with. The scissor fobs and things might set up there and just to display. But we'll see what the bookshelf, when I get it out of the closet, works like. Desk is still working pretty good. I worked on the drawers a little bit this morning also. I emptied out some of these because my plan is to get more of the spool type threads and Glorianas and things, and I want to have places for that. This tower is mostly when I kit things. Got my floss tags and things. That's what that's going to be for. And then this is still pretty much the same. I got the record player and my tray. Still got a little bit of space in here. I got eyeglasses, punches, as well as, what do you call it, office supplies, paper clips, tapes, notepad refills, staplers, things like that. A few more punches are in there. So that's kind of where we're at right now. I am stuck. But my computer, when it's not in here, I'll just kind of have things sitting out. Oops, that I use. We can actually set this down here, and when I bring in the computer, I can set it here. This is just things that will go on my next floss tube, and then another little catch-all box that needs to be put away, and then I have some pens and pencils, and I actually added this light over here. I think it'll just work a lot better than that other one that I had on my computer with my mouse. So pleased with that. And a little trash can over off to the side because I did take out that shelf. It just isn't working. It might go on top of the bookshelf if it's the same size as the bookshelf, but that's what I'm getting ready to do here. A lot of these craft items I'm hoping will go in an area over here. And I got to clean off my ironing station. It got piled up as well. But I did add some things on the side to hold like the sprayers and the water if I use steam, things like that are there. So that's the plan right now, and in a little bit I'll come back, and like I said, it's not going to be a 15-minute challenge today. It's probably going to be most of my afternoon, morning and afternoon. I've already been at it for a couple hours. But no plans today. The baby was here yesterday, so I can kind of focus on this room today, and I'm really anxious to see how it turns out. If the pegboard looks silly, please tell me when I come back on. I really want a good spot for it, and I can't hang it on the wall, so looking around, if you see somewhere that might be a good place, maybe on the inside of one of those cubbies, maybe. I just have to see when I move that machine what it looks like. So we will be back in a little while. I'm not going to say 15 minutes this time. Hopefully when I get back on, this will look totally different. See you soon. Hi friends, okay, I'm back. I was finishing up. As you notice, there's quite a bit of difference in here now. It's pretty much taken me all day. I woke up this morning, like I said, and said goodbye to hubby. Came in here, did a few things. I don't even think I stopped for lunch. I just really wanted to get this into a place where when the weekend comes, I don't have anxiety over the mess back here. So a big bulk of the Great Craft Room Challenge has been done. I still have 2 weeks, but I think the rest of that 2 weeks is going to be putting patterns away into my books, possibly going in the hall closet there and seeing what I use out of there that needs to come in here. Trying to think what else. That's pretty much it. I got the table that I wanted. There is probably one more thing I'll need to move, and I'll share kind of what we've done so far. I'd be on camera, but I am in no state to be looked at right now. So this is the desk currently. I don't know what's wrong with my throat. I need water maybe. But I switched it up again because I just have too many things that I want available, and I just keep trying a better way at it. So I stacked the tower, and I have my floss stuff here that I use, and I can possibly put these two up here and bring these down so that this will be all thread up on top. I brought my computer back in here. It goes from here to the living room all the time, so I'll just unplug it and bring it back and forth, but that's kind of where I have it. A lot of these things, you know, I can use for pencils and pens, and I just don't want them stacked on the cutting table because it takes up so much room. Back to the cutting table for a minute. Like I said this morning, I did all this organizing, but I still want to do the labels and stuff, so that can also be done the next couple weeks. I've got some empty spaces that can use, like for projects that I'm working on. I did come across empty containers and things. Right now I've got nothing under these because I'm thinking as I pull one of these out and work on them, they'll just slide under here till they get finished. This is really my only concern, and I actually had a comment saying there's no way I could sit here and sew, and they're probably correct unless I use a small little stool, but I would be pretty cramped, I think. So the move that I was talking about is possibly taking this machine and putting it right here and moving the mannequin on this wall here in this space. I can still leave the dresser there. That way it's not in the way when I fold it up. I just need to measure how wide it is from here to here and see if that's the length of the wall over there, because if it's not, then that's not going to work. But that would solve the problem of using this machine. It hasn't been used yet because it still needs a service, but I thought having them lined up here would be nice. But now that I've enlarged my table, because my table used to be minus this, and then I could have sat here, but I really prefer to have a larger table because I can throw a large piece of fabric up here and be able to cut. I've just got my rotary mats up here right now, but if I need to just cut on the table, I can take those off easily. And then that was the unit that was behind this table. I'm not sure what I think about it sticking up in the center of the room. My husband might not like it. I don't know. He's not here right now to decide, but I do like having access to both sides. It's a little clustered right now, like this magnet board can probably be taken off, and when I'm working on a project I can put my book up there. A lot of these are just notions and things that get used when I'm sewing. What do you call them? Alphabetties and stuff like that. My walking foot for my sewing machine. Got some snips over there. Mints, chocolates. Up top is just a clock, although I've got clocks everywhere. I probably don't need it up there, but then I've got some measuring tapes. I just ended up putting these up here. I don't know if it looks right. You guys give me your opinion. On the other side are the large rulers, a wastebasket. This is just an empty container like I have down here for threads and stuff, but if I need it for this machine, I'll have it available. And then this is just a wastebasket. And I put my scale out of the closet here when I want to weigh yarns. This is where I tie up my yarn winder. You've seen it there before in the mess that we had. And this is just coming around to the other side. So this cording I'm not crazy about, but to light up the table, I had to have some kind of lighting on the table. I'm not crazy about my ceiling fan light. So this is bright white light, which I like better. So yeah, if I move this table over to the other wall and just leave the dresser, it's got yarns and stuff in it. Yarn projects are in all three of these. A few craft supplies are in that one. But I can still feasibly get a chair right here and push it out and use this machine because the table's not in the way here. And as well as this side, I can do the same. I have 2 stools under each of those. There wasn't one there, so if I do move it over here, I would just use this chair here between my desk and that machine. I just have to see how far it'd stick out. So maybe tomorrow will be that challenge. I think I've spent enough time in here today. Other than just putting things where they belonged, you probably notice over here I did a little also. I took the stuff off the top. It's not as clustered. I left my diamond painting up there with the boxes of frames. I left a few of these crochet and sewing binders in here because the unit that I brought out of my closet, the lower unit, the bottom 2 shelves, it was in my closet in the master room. It really wasn't being used sufficiently, and I think it's better use here with all of these books. But these binders are too tall for the size here. It just fits my magazine ones, but even these ones don't fit. I'm using the magazines on the end because these will flop over, so they're like bookends. It's kind of what I did there. I've got my quilting books, crochet books, knitting books in here so far. I ended up putting the 2 boxes down here of my beads and buttons and stuff when I'm making fobs underneath. I've got some fabrics in this one, but this one's empty. These are all my 5.5-inch squares. There's a supply, like these 2 are full, and then I've started another one back in there. These are more books that were too tall, so I laid them on their side, but I know they're all sewing patterns. This is my catch-all whenever I have flosses and stuff, and these beads need to be put away. So I'm thinking these little beads will either go in these containers back in here, or I might fill this jar with some of them just so I can see where they're at. Bookmarks are back in here. I've got my 2.5-inch square started here. My fat quarters are up here. These are my thimbles. I ended up putting my scissor fob, or yeah, I guess you put these on your scissors and stuff. Zipper things. I put that there, and then the actual small scissors I put back in here. This is the featherweight. Just depending on the stool that I use here, I might have to move her over here to actually sew. And I just didn't want to do it right now with the FOs that I have on the floor. So that's also a possible move, is so that I can actually put a chair here and sit here to sew. So I just haven't done that yet either. Up in this cabinet is where I put my fabrics that I can easily get to for cross stitch. I've got 14, 16, 18, 20, 28s, 32s, 36, 40s, 46s, and miscellaneous. Markers are up there. Those containers are empty. These are my beading supplies here, as well as the diamond painting I mentioned up top. And then I did end up putting these back in here. I originally had them in here a long time ago, but as I have scrap pieces, those colors, I will use those to store them in. And the doors close easily. I couldn't get them closed with all those other books and stuff in there. These are just knickknacks I have here. It's really not a good place to store things, but they're just things that I don't want to get rid of, that I enjoy looking at. So for now I have knickknacks on that shelf, as well as up here on these little shelves here. Out of the way, not really hard. I brought my little stand for cross stitching here for now, and the basket underneath is going to be for the lights that I charge up. They're all taken off, but that's probably another day of the challenge, is to put all my lights back together and back under, like maybe one here and one here, and I'll probably end up putting one here and one here, as well as the other side. So about 5 on the cutting table, just so that it lights up the undersides. I like the ambient lights that way. But they're all in here right now. They're all charged and ready. I just gotta get the stickies and go to town. I used to have them in here, and I can probably still put one here and one up there to light it up if I want to, but it's kind of crowded on this side. Can't fit it in here anymore, so I'll just probably get those off of there, since maybe keep the one at the top, but the one that has the fabrics probably won't fit anymore. But those are just kind of things that I'm thinking that I still need to finish up and do. But tell me what y'all think. I do like that there is an area for all the books and knickknacks and things. They're not on the surfaces of the machines, so that I can actually get to things easily. So just figuring out that middle machine, if it'll work over here on this wall, is probably going to be the next challenge, like I said, and moving my featherweight to the other side is probably what I'll do. Just because I don't want to back into this. So I do like that I can cut up here. I'm very pleased with that. So that's it for today. It's been an all-day project, but I did want to come back on and share. And I'll get this uploaded for today, and then tomorrow I will, like I said, try and figure out if I want to move the one machine off that wall and put the mannequin over there. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.